Alright, welcome to a Fatal Fury video. Absolutely insane that I just recorded this whole video and I realized my mic was muted. Anyways, what was I saying in that video? Let's just start with the good stuff. So yeah, Fatal Fury Beta is here. It is free. If you have a PC, PlayStation, Xbox, you can hop on the beta. I believe it lasts 4 days. Anyone can play it, it's free. I would say try it out because the game is pretty good. However, will I recommend this game? Probably not. Well, we're going to see in a second why. You may be even seeing it right here why I don't recommend it. If you have an eagle eye, you might be seeing my big problems with the game. But anyways, let's just start with the good stuff. Gameplay is good. So something that I love about Mark of the Wolves specifically over KOF is that Mark of the Wolves, when you hit people, there's like a loud explosion sound, you know, the camera, like, you know, the screen slows down, it's a big meaty punch, like particle effects go everywhere. I really like that about Mark of the Wolves, and KOF doesn't really have that. I would say KOF is more focused on like the speed, but something that I like about this game is that they clearly understood that, because the game is, I mean, as you can see by the hits are very heavy, very weighty, they're loud, they have particle effects going everywhere. Yeah, they understood that part of Mark of the Wolves, and they transferred it over here, and you can definitely feel that it is an SNK game, but it's not a KOF game. They did good out at keeping that Fatal Fury feel. I should also mention the gameplay. It may look a little horrible. Don't worry. I lock in pretty quickly. I get pretty decent near the end of the video. There's no training mode in this beta, so yeah, we got to deal with this. What you're watching here is the only matches I have played in the beta. As of the recording of this video, you're watching the only games I have played. So yes, that was my very first game ever. It takes me a little while to get used to the controls, but you'll see in this video I lock in. The rev button was throwing me off a little bit. But yeah, the game feels like Mark of the Wolves. If you want an accurate description of how this game feels, I would personally say the best way to describe this game is, imagine if you took Mark of the Wolves, you gave the game Street Fighter 6 mechanics, and you took away Drive Rush. That's the best way I can describe this game. It's Mark of the Wolves with Street Fighter 6 mechanics and no Drive Rush. Which, in my opinion, is a pretty good positive. I like that a lot. And from the, I mean, like I said, these are the only matches I've played. So the less than 20 minutes of gameplay I've played, I'd say it feels amazing. It feels pretty good. I have no complaints. I like the way the game looks. I like the music. All of that's good. SNK has done it again. I love the gameplay of KOF 15. I love Samurai Showdown. SNK knows how to make a banger gameplay system, right? That's no, question. So why would I not recommend this game? I know we shortly talked about the good things about this game, but we have to get into the bad stuff. And it's hard for me to say if the gameplay is good, because any fighting game player can tell you that a fighting game's problems don't show up until, I don't know, 50 to 100 hours into the game. Like, you have to have a decent amount of time into the game, right? Like, everyone loves Street Fighter 6, but once they really got into the game and they really started feeling that drive rush and they started feeling those throw loops, you know, people started to have mixed feelings about it. And that's not a Street Fighter 6 thing, that's every fighting game. It takes time for people to find out, oh wait, this kind of doesn't feel that good, or, you know, whatever it may be. So it's hard for me to comment on that. All I'm commenting on is first impressions, and first impressions is that I really like everything about this game. But, like I said in the beginning of the video, I would I would not recommend this game. I would be very cautious when thinking about purchasing this game, and the reason is, I haven't really covered this game that much on my channel. The last time I talked about it was in my last video, when I was playing Mai in Street Fighter 6, and I was talking about some of my worries for this game, and unfortunately, my fears ended up coming true. So, the last KOF, or the last SNK game I played on this channel was KOF 15. I was super hyped for it. I went all in on my channel for it. I was covering everything about the game. I made so many videos on it. I was super hyped for KOF 15. And then one day, the videos just stopped, and I never made another one. The last time I had KOF 15 installed was when the boss mode came out. That was the last time I played KOF 15. And I might have played it a little bit after that, but you'll notice that it just completely dropped off the face of my channel. And the reason for that is because I couldn't take it anymore. If you don't know, KOF 15 had a matchmaking problem. And you know what's funny? A few months ago, I saw someone saying like, oh, KOF 15 is the best modern fighting game, but people would never know that because they're too busy complaining about the matchmaking, right? It was a tweet like that. It was something about like, oh, you guys are missing out or something like that, or like, if people weren't being such babies complaining about the matchmaking, you would know. It was a tweet with like that type of energy, and I'm like, I never wanted to like smack someone in the face more than that. Like, that was the stupidest thing I've ever heard anyone say. If you don't know, and yeah, obviously people are going to complain about the matchmaking, bro. Like, what are you if you don't know, when KOF 15 came out, the matchmaking was broken. It took about 1 to 5 minutes to find a match in KOF 15. Now, that's not horrible, especially for the time. It was still bad, but it wasn't abysmal. However, when the player base started to die, right, like all fighting games do, the player base started to die, especially in SNK game because they're not as popular. Hopefully this is different, but I don't feel like it's going to be different. When the player base started to die, matchmaking times went from, on average, you could find a match in 5 minutes, you could find a match in 15 minutes. And that was the reason why I stopped uploading on this channel. Because, or why I stopped uploading KOF specifically on this channel, was because I would sit down to record a video, and I would get 3 matches in maybe 30 to 45 minutes, which was insane. And yeah, so a month or 2 after the game came out, the matchmaking went from, 1 to 5 minutes to 5 to 15 minutes. Like, it was just super bad. And if you don't know, KOF SNK added what, like $100 worth of DLC before they fixed the matchmaking? And they also were disgustingly quiet about the problem. I don't remember them ever commenting on the matchmaking, and if they did, it was months into the problem. They were insanely quiet about the fact that you literally couldn't play their game. That's such an insane problem to have, and they were just shoveling DLC into your face while you couldn't even find a match. It was insane. I'll never forget that. And it changed the way I saw SNK entirely because of that. And here we are. The matchmaking is fixed in KOF 15, I believe. I haven't played it in a very long... I've never played it since the, boss rush. And if you're wondering how long it took, I believe it took... Was it 12 months or 13 months for it to get fixed? It took about an entire year for them to fix the matchmaking problem. After they've already added so many DLC characters, they finally decided, hey, let's fix this. Now, story time is over, because here we are in Fatal Fury, and what is happening? Well, for starters, you may have been noticing, if you've been paying attention in this video, it looks a little choppy, doesn't it? The game looks a little choppy. And that's because it feels like it has the same exact netcode as KOF 15. Now, when KOF 15 came out, the netcode wasn't perfect, but it was okay. However, if you compare KOF 15's netcode to nowadays, I would say it's pretty bad. It was always high ping, always super choppy, wasn't perfect, you know, always a little bit of rollback glitching around, and that happened almost every single game in KOF 15. And the two people I've fought so far that you're seeing in this video, both of them were very high ping. And from what I've been seeing on Twitter, there have been people who, because there's no training mode in this beta, they will literally fight themselves in rank. So they'll have two consoles, or a PC and a console, and they will find themselves in a room match or ranked or whatever, and they'll fight each other so that way they can get, you know, they can get some bootleg training mode in. So they have two consoles on in the same exact house, same exact room, and they were getting 80 ping, over 80 ping. So the netcode is in shambles. It feels choppy. It probably looks choppy. I don't know if YouTube is going to show it, but it looks choppy for me, very choppy, especially compared to offline. And it just, it's not perfect. I would say it's very, very mid compared to today's standards. So, the netcode is not great. It feels like it's the same exact netcode as KOF 15. Combine that with the fact that, guess what? The KOF 15 matchmaking problem is back. It takes, so far I would say it takes about 1 to 5 minutes to find a game. Which is not horrible, but by today's standards it is. And you gotta remember the fact that KOF 15 also found matches at that speed. But then once the game came out and it started to die out, those wait times shot up drastically. And Justin Wong, I believe it was playing last night during, you know, the early hours of the morning when most people were not online. And he said he only found about 18 matches in 3 hours. I believe it was Justin Wong that said this on Twitter. So the matchmaking problem is back. And this is why I can't recommend this game. Because the game is coming out in about 2 months. And it has the same exact problems that KOF 15 had 3 years ago. So they've clearly learned nothing in 3 years. Especially considering it took them a year to fix the matchmaking in KOF 15. So who's to say, I mean, like I said, this game's coming out in like 2 months. Who's to say that they're going to have this fixed in 2 months when it took them a year in KOF 15? And not to mention, they were disgustingly quiet about it. They barely ever talked about it. So who knows if they'll mention the matchmaking in this game. I hope they do. But they might not even address it like they did in KOF 15. So yeah, the matchmaking is the same exact problem as KOF 15 are in this game. And judging by SNK's track record, it could be a year until they actually fix the problems, which is just absolutely unacceptable, especially considering they already went through this with KOF 15 and now they're just going to go through it again. That's why I can't recommend the game, because yeah, they have 2 months to fix it, but I can't willingly say that it will be fixed in those 2 months just based off of the past. Hopefully they will be more open about it and they'll let us know, but I don't know. I really don't know. So, game is great, but it has the same problems that KOF 15 had. It's just so frustrating, and I really hope they address it and ease our minds, because wow, KOF 15 was one of the worst fighting game experiences I've ever had. So, yeah. Let me know how you guys feel about this. Do you guys think it'll be fixed or no? Because if you went through the KOF 15 problem like I did, it's hard to say that it will be fixed. Like, we really don't know. And the netcode, if the netcode is another thing, because it's like the game comes out in 2 months. They have a lot of fixing to do. Like a lot, because this netcode is not that good. It's pretty bad, I would say, by today's standards. So, Yeah, I'm worried about this game. That's what I would say. I'm worried. And it's to the point where I don't know if I'll be spending my money to upload this game and to play this game. I really don't know if I want to do that. But I might. We will see. I'm not too certain about that yet. But I will definitely be making more content on the beta. I'll be playing more characters. I'll be playing as much of the beta as I possibly can. I will be uploading all that, so don't worry. And I'll talk about my thoughts as I play more of the game. This is more of a first impressions video. And yeah, you know, like, sub, gonna have some more of this game. Let me know how you feel. Monster Hunter's coming out next week. I'm gonna have that up. So yeah, peace.
強いライバルは大歓迎さ。またやろうぜ。